President Trump urging the NRA to move to Texas following a lawsuit from New York State Attorney General claiming that they have lined their own pockets with charity money. Joining me now, Black Voices for Trump Advisory Board member Stacy Washington, who, by the way, also happens to be an NRA member. You know, Stacy, I always thought they were based in Texas. So, it's a natural fit. Golly, what do you make of this? It feels like a coordinated response, particularly with the New York and D.C. going after the NRA at the same time.
So if it's one thing the New York Attorney General hates, or two things, it's President Trump and the National Rifle Association. And so my question, because I believe the National Rifle Association will prevail in the lawsuit that she's launching against them, but I have other questions for her. And I think people who live in New York have other questions as well. Why is she not coordinating to try to reduce the amount of crime that is going on in New York right now? I mean, I really feel as if it's almost a single tunnel vision type of fascination or obsession with the National Rifle Association and President Trump's taxes has distracted her away from more important work in protecting the people of New York. And so they are experiencing record amounts of crime, Charles. They deserve someone who's actually advocating on their behalf and prosecuting people who are committing gun crimes instead of going after the organizations that protect law-abiding gun owners like myself.
And the NRA, I do want to share their response to the suit, at least in part, saying that it was a baseless, premeditated attack on our organization and the Second Amendment freedoms it fights to defend. And I think what President Trump was suggesting, Stacey, is that New York State can bring these kind of lawsuits. They have endless amounts of money, and if nothing else, create economic damage to the NRA, which has always been something that the left has hated. They've always hated the NRA. They've always people think that if you attack them, you're attacking the Second Amendment. So it's tough to see at this point in time. I do want to switch gears here a little bit because President Trump calling for his first debate with Joe Biden to be moved up. He wants it to happen before these states start mail-in voting. In fact, he tweeted, "How can voters be sending in ballots starting, in some cases, 1 month before the first presidential debate? Move the first debate up. A debate to me is a public service. Joe Biden and I owe it to the American people." Do you think it will happen?
I don't. So we haven't seen Joe Biden outside of his basement shooting room for a few weeks now, and I think it's important to note that meanwhile, President Trump, obviously in his position as chief executive, he's been all over the country working on behalf of American people, but he's also done some campaign stops, and he's still out there pressing the flesh, trying to be as present as possible to get the message out there. Now, the Trump administration, Trump victory, I should say, Trump victory includes a grassroots army of over 1.8 million people. They're knocking on doors. I'm participating in all of that as a member of two of the coalition advisory boards. So, I mean, Charles, there's a stark contrast here. The president is actually asking for your vote. He's touting his accomplishments. He's promising to do more. Joe Biden is still in his basement insulting Black Americans and really just making a mockery of running for the presidency.
Well, some people are saying that they think he could coast to victory in the basement. I don't know that he's going to shift away from that.